What would happen if you gave super good soccer players world-ending superpowers? Yeah, that's not good. So, recently, maybe like a week or two ago, I finished watching the first half of Dragon Striker with my brother. And I thought it was really good. Like, the writing is awesome, and the characters are so well developed. And not to mention the action sequences. I'm not just saying like fighting or whatever, because the sport itself is like the fighting. I'm not even an anime fan, and I really liked this. But I'm not here to fawn over the show because I realized something. Something kind of bad. The sport that these guys play is really dangerous. Like, world ending dangerous. Before I begin, I should probably explain what Dragon Striker is about. I wrote this in a single day. Not even a day, a morning on my phone. Not phone, laptop, what am I talking about? So, Dragon Striker takes place in this magical world called Asteria, I think? I'm not gonna fact check myself. Maybe in post, who knows. And they play Gorotama, which essentially is just magic soccer. That's really all I needed to know and all I'm gonna tell you. So the magic part about it is that everyone has this special ability called Atama. All the players do, at least. Not everyone has Atama. In fact, most of the characters in the show who do are children. In fact, there are only 4 adults who have Tamas, but I will get on that later. I shouldn't have moved my mic, my bad. In the school that the main character goes to, there are 5 teams: the dragons, the roses, the shadows, the bards, and one other that I will talk about later. The main character is named Key. Get used to that, all character names are like this. He is like a super fan of Gorotama, and he wants to play, but his dad's like, no, you can't play, but like, we all know that he's gonna get into Gorotama, otherwise there would be no show, come on. After wrecking this guy's beetle pen or something, I don't know what those creatures are, they're a mix of like beetles and cows, it's like amphibia. The main character ends up meeting... I'd like to think of her as a secondary main character. Her name's Ciel, which, by the way, it's spelled like this. I don't know, man. But she has a really cool Tama, which is she can slow down time, which is really good for a goalkeeper, which she wants to be. After the goalkeeper of this team, the All-Stars, I have no idea why there's another team. Maybe it's not even an adult team, it's composed of the students. When the goalkeeper of the All-Stars eats something so spicy she basically dies, not really, Ciel takes her place. Before I continue, I would encourage you to watch this on Disney Plus or anywhere else that you can, and if you can't, don't blame me for the methods you use. So, during the game, Ciel's trying her best, but she is struggling. She keeps getting hit in the face multiple times. She's very obviously concussed by the end of it. This one jerk, Ragno, he has this really powerful dragon Tama. I don't know what it is specifically, but he was fully gonna take her out. But this activates Key's Tama, and he is recognized as, whoa, the new Dragon Striker. That's where the name comes from. Whoa! Yeah, so that's where the story begins. There are other notable characters like Milo, who he can create these jelly cubes with his hands, and there's special emphasis put on by everyone that they taste terrible. I don't know why that was necessary. And then there's Ameline, and I will talk about her Tama later. She doesn't really talk. I thought she was cute at first, but she weirds me out. And then there's Oddward, who has the ability to clone himself. He was actually part of the All-Stars, and I think he kinda respected Ciel at first, but not later. I'm sure you could tell before that when Ragno tried to take out Ciel, that was not like take you out for the season type thing. That's like take you out of your life subscription. Which brings me to my point, the point of this video. I don't trust Gorotama at all. There was this one YouTuber I saw, I can link their video below, they actually inspired me to make this. Uh, they said that their theory was that Gorotama was a way to channel students' tamas to put into something more productive than destructive, because anyone with crazy powers would totally want to take over the world, and I agree with that. But I think the people running the Gorotama stuff, whatever, I think they're doing a really bad job. People are willing to kill each other over this sport. Everyone takes this game too damn seriously. It's terrible. I have some examples. In episode 2, Ragno, you remember him, he is the leader of the dragon team. He and his friends, two of them, like this water girl and earthquake guy. With the earthquake guy, they use the same animation in the first episode twice. Anyways, so they beat up Key, and Ragno, just trying to prove a point, chucks him off of a stone wall or whatever onto a flag, and Key nearly falls to his death. If Ciel and Milo were not on this elevator by the time that Key fell, he would have been dead, because he couldn't activate his Tama. He couldn't save himself. He was very lucky that his friends came up when they did, because if he fell, well, no more show. Terrible. It's terrible. Like, I'm glad Key was okay, but seriously. And I have another example. In episode 5, these two twins, Casper and Callista, she doesn't really matter as much as Casper. I couldn't be bothered to remember her name. Casper and Callista, they challenge Key and Ciel to a Gorotama game. It's like, I think it was like make 3 goals you win, and they did it inside of their father's workshop, and their father is like an armor blacksmith. I don't know what to call that. They tore up their dad's place just to make sure that Ciel and Key didn't win. And they weren't very gentle about it either. Like right here. Casper and I think it was just Callista actually. She threw a giant fan. She was not trying to win a silly little game. She was out for blood. All this in the name of the game, just so these guys couldn't play. Yeah, you can't play if you're dead. Simple as that. Simple as that. Yeah. I have more examples, but they will come into play when I talk about the representatives of the teams. These 4 are the Goyans. The Goyans are basically like the representatives of each team. Oh, someone texted me. Hey, it's my friend. Anyways, Segoy is the leader of the dragons. Sunspear is the leader of the bards. Sangha is the leader of the shadows. And Mara is the leader of the roses. I know technically you're supposed to say Goyan, Segoy, but I'm not saying that every time. That's redundant and stupid. Okay, maybe not in their universe, but like, I'm still not saying Goyan before each of their names. It just takes too much time. I don't trust them. I think they're all irresponsible, stupid, and way too obsessed with winning Gorotama. I have my own personal list of who I think is least to most dangerous. I made a gesture there. I didn't need to do that. Yeah, I have a personal list of who I think is least dangerous to most dangerous, and I will go over each of them in detail. So, Segoy is the first person, or I guess, the first notable Goyan. She takes a special interest to Key, and this is because he is the son of Segoy's friend, Adina. You know, it's funny, that character's really important, but I couldn't care enough to learn her name. It's like she doesn't even... Like, she has a presence, but, like, I can't even remember a single line she said. I can't remember a single line for most of these characters. I only watched this show once. I did rewatch clips. The funny thing is, Segoy reminds me a lot of Pearl from Steven Universe. Like, in this scenario, Segoy is Pearl, Adina is Rose, and Key is Steven. Because Segoy really liked Adina, And since Ki inherited his powers from Adina, she really wants Ki to be the best dragon striker ever. Unfortunately, this means that she puts a lot of pressure on Ki. Ki is having a really hard time mastering his Tama in the later half of the season. And I think in episode 9, Segoy takes him to this memory forest and shows him a memory of his mom being this ultimate star player, and she has perfect control over her Tama and she's doing everything right. And the whole time, I'm thinking, this is the worst thing to show Ki right now. You're telling me that you're showing Ki a vision of his mother when she is at her prime, the top of her game, and just expect him to feel good about that? He's failing right now, and you're showing him a picture of success, that'll make him feel better. That's stupid. Segoy is stupid. When Segoy is training with Ki, she kind of really lays into him. She keeps having him go over and over again, no matter how many times that he asks her to take a break. And eventually it comes to a boiling point, and she has her own, "Why won't you let me do this for you, Rose?" type scene. No, she says, "Why aren't you more like your mother?" Which is oof. Yeah, this kid is a lot like Steven, to be honest. It's really troubling. I can see the signs. An interesting thing is he's not the only one that she's weird to. When Ragnar was kind of failing his game, I don't really remember this scene that well, but I do remember she was laying into him. She was saying something like, "I expect better from you," and it's just weird how it's like this. It's supposed to be just a game, but she's talking like that to a child. Now, don't get me wrong, I think Ragnar could really be humbled, but I don't think like this. I don't know. It just gave me a weird feeling. Somehow, still, she is the only Goyen with a lick of common sense. Whenever someone in the Knights is accused of something, Segoy is usually the only one who will defend them. She's the only one who defends Ki, and sure, she has a bias, but yeah, she's the only one who's willing to wait for a minute and think, hey, maybe we shouldn't be accusing these children of terrible things. But no one listens. Anyways, that's enough of Segoy. Time for Mara. Mara is the Goyen of the Roses, and she does seem nice enough at first. The first 3 episodes, she is completely fine. But then, episode 3 comes around, and that's when the Knights become an official team. And that's when some darker colors start showing. She does not want the Knights to be a team. I think she thinks it's gonna throw off the balance or whatever. Like I said, I only watched this series once. I don't know, she's just overall kind of shifty. She didn't do much until the latter half of the season when this kid Falco, who's related to one of the other Goyans I'll talk about later, he gets his Tama completely drained. Mara immediately accuses Ameline. You remember her? She actually has the ability to temporarily drain Tamas. Note how I said temporarily. Now, Mara didn't exactly know this, but she just assumed that Ameline has the power to completely take a Tama. When Mara finds them in the library, when I say them, I mean Ameline and her teammates, they were trying to coax her out, make her feel better. I don't even know. I don't trust Ameline. When she finds them, she uses her own Tama, which is this cool vine power. That's cool. It kind of reminds me of Willow, but she takes her Tama and grabs everyone with it. Ki, Milo, CL, not Oddward because he's off doing his own thing, pretending to be Mara. It was a whole thing. And she goes hard on Ameline. She constricts her so much that's almost to the point of suffocation. That's bad. And she only stopped when Segoy demanded it of her. And Mara only dropped her accusations when it was proven to her that it was impossible for Ameline to have completely drained Atama. By the way, I forgot to mention that Segoy's Tama is pretty cool. She can actually use Atama herself by touching someone. So that's how she proved that Ameline couldn't do it. She experienced her Tama herself. It's hard to take that scene seriously though because her cheeks get all puffed up. As for Mara's judgment, it's bad. She always assumes the worst of the knights, which, like I said, they're children. I'm gonna emphasize this a lot. These are children that we are talking about. But what can you expect from an old lady with a hairstyle like that? I'm sorry. I think it's a little goofy. I think her whole design is slightly goofy. Next on the list is Sangha. And before you say anything like, oh, why isn't this guy next? I will get to him because I have a personal vendetta against him and a funny story along with it too. I need to put my mouth closer to the mic. So Sangha is this generally shady guy, which, is fitting because he leads the shadows. An interesting thing is he didn't really talk until his true debut episode, I think. I'm not going to fact check myself, I don't care. I think his first notable appearance is when he caught Ciel poking around the crypt, and she almost revealed that his team was technically cheating. You see, their own goalkeeper was using this gem. I think it's called a diadem. Wow, look at me. I'm actually remembering something. Unless I'm wrong. So she wears this diadem which amplifies her powers, and Ciel almost caught that. During the game, the knights actually exploit this weakness and take the diadem off. Now, after the game, we don't actually see what happens to the gem, and Sangha assumes that the knights stole it. So, he sends his team members to go rummage through the rooms of the knights, and they don't just look through, they flat out destroy their rooms. It's like, no responsibility at all. It's like, oh, you steal our tiny thing, we get to destroy all of your stuff. Which, by the way, they didn't really damage it. Sangha's team also sucks, by the way. They're all terrible people. Like, the original goalkeeper intentionally threatened Milo knowing, well, maybe not knowing, but exploiting his fear of ghosts. And then all of the other ones, once she got replaced, they taunted the team. And this was a time where Key was like super emotionally vulnerable. Like his power was going crazy at this time. I was so scared when I watched this episode. He was not doing well. So it turns out, Sangha was right, and Ameline was the one who took it. I don't even know why. I don't trust her. She's something about her and the way she acts. I don't know. Anyways, when the shadows confront Key, Milo, and Oddward, Sangha sends out his own Tama, which are like these shadow crows, and attack them so badly that Key just can't control his Tama and he nearly self-destructs. Like, if it weren't for Ciel and Milo, he might have just burned himself up. No more Key. The threat of death is very real in this show, and it makes me scared. In one scene, Ameline tries to take Key's Tama so that he can calm down, but it's too much for her. And she's wearing the diadem at this time so that her power is amplified, but even that doesn't work. And so the gem breaks. And so Sangha, once he gets the gem back, he says something really ominous like, "The shadows will not forget this." You're holding a grudge against these children? Like, I get that it's bad that Ameline took your gem, but this is not that serious. Plus, you were using that gem to cheat. Like, you were using that to amplify one of your player's powers. I don't think that's a good thing to do. That's a huge advantage. As for his judgment, he only really speaks when he needs to. But he usually just agrees with whatever Sunspear or Mara says. I almost forgot her name for a second. I talked about her for like a good couple of minutes and I forgot her name. My goodness. Sunspear to me, for the duration of the first half of the season, seemed fine. Like, he was nice to Key until he learned that he was the son of Adina, and at that point, he acted super standoffish, but later we learn that this is because she beat him at his championship. And I'm like, okay, he just has like a petty grudge against his mom and is showing it off to Key. Not the best, but like, pettiness, that's not really that much of a problem. But later, in a scene where Sunspear holds up Key, the scene is so cool. He reveals what his Tama is, and it's illusions, because he's hiding his half-burnt face. Because Adina burned him. Dude, when I watched the first scene of Dragon Striker, I thought that that guy died. But that guy was Sunspear. I was floored. The second I realized it, I was like, oh my god! The show's so good, I swear. But the real question here is, why is he holding up Key like this? So now we gonna rewind. So the Knights and the Bards were against each other in a Gorotama tournament, and the Knights were doing pretty well, and it looked like they were close to winning. During a timeout or halftime, I don't even know, some kind of break, Sunspear calls over the twins. Remember them? These two, the ones that almost killed the kids with a fan? Yeah, them. Well, he straight up tells them to kill Key. Yeah, he told children to kill another child, and I get it. These two are sadistic, but like, why would you do that? And I also get that Key's Tama is like a little dangerous, but he does not deserve death. This makes me mad. If you don't believe me, Casper literally said to Key, you should join your mother in her grave. Something like that. It was messed up. And this made Key so upset that he like fully activated his Tama. Blue fire and all. He gets this cool dragon eye, I like it. But he completely enveloped Casper into flames and burned the side of him just like Sunspear, which I'm sure activated a bit of trauma for him. So, the funny thing is, after all this happens, when Key's dad is trying to defend him, saying, oh, you don't have a grudge with Key, Sunspear says, I do now. You have a grudge with a literal child that you provoked! Maybe not directly, but you caused this. You were the instigator of the events that led up to your player getting burned. You ruined this, bud. And I'm not saying that Key shouldn't be held accountable. Like, Key needs to learn to master his power. But Sunspear was the one who provoked it! Just saying! Also, he was the one who revealed to Key that his mom was the one who caused the destruction that got him burned. Like, that's a crazy thing to tell to a child, especially when you're fueled up on anger. That's bad. You know, it draws out more parallels to Steven Universe because this guy is butthurt about what his mom did. Hello? That's not Key's fault. Anyways, that's enough rambling about Sunspear. I wish I had more evidence about the stupid things that these guys pull, but the second half of the season hasn't come out yet. Even though I rambled about this sport being dangerous and terrible, I will say I do really enjoy the choreography of this sport, so I'm excited to see more. Totally. I don't know if I'll make a follow-up to this for, like, any of the crazy stuff that these guys pull off, but if this does well enough or, like, I care enough, I'll make a sequel. Anyways, I think I'm putting this out during the World Cup, which was, like, a very funny coincidence. I think it's soccer. I must be sounding really stupid. But, if you have any of your own thoughts, theories, corrections, be sure to comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Anyways, thank you for watching, and, I got an ASL video I'm planning on getting out to the end of the month, so look forward to that. See y'all around!